Hello, welcome to Telling Tales. Welcome to Tuesday Blades in the Dark. Hi, we hope you are well and up for a night of tabletop roleplay skullduggery. As usual, at first, what I'll do is introduce our lovely stream manager, Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Matt.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay, thanks. Yeah.
Enjoying this interaction between us where we typically pretend that we haven't talked? Or
Yes.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Yeah. So Steve tinkers away behind the scenes doing things with cameras and images and chat and rules lookups and stuff like that. So don't worry if he pops up. Just means something's gone horribly wrong. And what could be better than that in 2021? So yeah. Let's go through our promo stuff. So if you check down below, you'll find a bunch of links. There's links to our YouTube and to our Twitch. You're watching this on one of those two. Why not check out the other one? There's links to our social media, to our Discord, and to our Patreon. They all do the things you would normally expect them to do. Up until recently, we've been running 3 weekly series. In fact, you know what? Maybe I'll take a moment to just explain what's going on, because there's a lot of shuffling happening in the world of Telling Tales at the moment. At the moment, what we have is a Tuesday and Wednesday stream. So Tuesdays is Blades in the Dark, which is this, and Wednesdays is our ongoing Symbaroum campaign. We've just wrapped up a series on Monday of Call of Cthulhu, which Johnny runs, which very popular, very good. And there's a whole load of change coming. So what's going to happen in the near future is that Johnny will return on Mondays with another series, Shadows of Esterin, which is a sort of fantasy folk horror mashup thing. And Tuesdays, which is currently Blades in the Dark, is going to be put on the bench. Blades will recede into the darkness until the time comes for it to return. And instead, we'll be running a stream on Thursdays, which is, broadly speaking, the 20th anniversary edition World of Darkness stuff. I don't want to go into too much detail about that here because I'll ramble for ages, but that's going to be coming on Thursdays very soon. Wednesdays will continue to be Symbaroum. And you know what? If you want to find out more about all this, we're doing a stream this coming Sunday. That will be Sunday, the 17th of October, at 8 o'clock in the evening, our usual stream time, where we'll be doing a kind of launch stream, casual hangout thing, and we'll be talking about Shadows of Esterin and World of Darkness and like stuff coming up on the channel broadly in those series specifically. And that'll be me and Johnny and a bunch of the players from the 2 series. So yeah, if you want to have more information, then check us out on Sunday. Yeah, is that all my promo? I think that's all my promo. That's all the promo. Oh, we run one-shots on the first Saturday of every month as well. The most recent of which was Wander Home. That's starting to appear in VOD form over on YouTube now. All of our stuff appears in VOD on YouTube. And the next one is on the 6th of November, which will be run by Chris, and that'll be Dune Adventures in the Imperium. Yeah, there we go. Now, that is all my promo. So let's start bringing on the wonderful players for Blades in the Dark. And let's start with John, who plays Bricks, the cutter of the keepers. Big old lad with big old fists and a big old hammer. How are you tonight, John?
I'm doing well. I don't have a big hammer with me, which I'm slightly disappointed with. But
your method role play is disappointing. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, for our second player, let's bring on Sam. Sam plays Silver, the group's Slide, aka Con Lady, Manipulator, Deceiver. A role Sam plays to perfection, obviously.
It's just who I am. It just comes naturally to me. I just love lying to people, really. It's one of my favorite things.
Love lying, love life.
Yeah.
That's
I've got those words up in my house. Live, lie, love.
Live, lie, love, just like embroidered on a nice. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sounds good. And our third and final player tonight, because Justin's character is not in this score, is Pierre, who plays Echo, the group's Lurk, Thief, Sneak, and Sneak Thief.
Indeed.
Indeed. How are you, Pierre?
I am well. I mean, in the intro, you described this as skullduggery. I prefer the term scallywaggery, which I think is...
It's all scallywaggery until someone gets hurt, and then it's skullduggery.
Oh, I hope not.
And as we mentioned before we started the stream, maybe the most notable thing to happen in last week's session was that the keepers managed to get a poor homeless man have the absolute living shit beaten out of him.
That wasn't my idea.
That's fair. Are you suggesting that Echo wouldn't be okay with that, though?
No comment at this time.
Yes,
Echo wouldn't be okay with it because she wouldn't want to give him a coin to go and do it.
That's true. That's true. Right. Echo is fine with the unfortunate being beaten for free, but not if they're going to be paid. In case you're very confused, this isn't like D&D. No, Blades in the Dark. You're playing horrible scoundrels in a night-drenched city of electro-punk crime and horror. We are halfway through a score. We normally try and do one score a stream these days, but this one, for whatever reason, ran over. So I'll give a little recap as to what happened, and then Pierre has some notes that he wrote in character that I think he was looking through before the stream with a sense of increasing dread. But that's fine. Essentially, the Keepers, our little crew of scoundrels, has been recruited by the Wraiths, who they have a kind of ongoing partnership with, to carry out surveillance on an individual called Karth Oris, who's a mercenary commander for a merchants guild called the Hive. And essentially, you followed him through the streets of Doskvol, the darkened streets of Doskvol, dropping in on a number of locations, and kind of trying to see what's going on, where he's going, what he's getting up to. And you've noted some things, and I would say nothing hugely dramatic has happened yet. No, like, great disasters or indeed great victories, but you have some information. And why doesn't Pierre lead us through that information in exhaustive detail right now?
Right. Well, we got a bit of a description of him. We saw that he was in a duster coat and had an eelskin bodysuit and was striking but weathered. Looked like the Hive in general had some military training, and when we boarded the train, we noted that they had arms and they were armed with swords and muskets. They were 3 bodyguards at the time. He carried around a notebook that seemed to be where he was noting a lot of juicy gossip, which Echo was extremely keen on. So they started off at the station in Crowsfoot, and then we went to Crowsfoot, and there was a sort of weird, decrepit side street with some sort of humming power station and a grey brick building, which turned out to be a gambling hall, where people were playing various card games, and there was lots of drinking and gambling and things. Karth seemed to be talking to some member of staff at the gambling hall, and it seemed to be a relatively chill conversation in which he held the upper hand. Out of that gambling hall came an additional guard, or we thought somebody maybe also associated with the Hive. And I think we noted that it was a dismissive shake of the hand that they sent off. So I think this person was lower.
I have to say, you were terribly worried about your notes before they started. Are you reading out John's notes or something?
I am reading out my notes. These are flawless. No, they have many flaws.
The only thing I've got that you missed so far is that there was a bouncer on the door.
Oh, there was a bouncer on the door. I mean, you see, I'm not going to out John, but like I can do my best John impression by Then in the tunnel, which was the next location that he seemed to head towards, there was an odd smell of blood. We went through the left door, and surprisingly, for such a dank and horrible place, there was fine wooden boards and attendants, maybe possibly nobles, at this fairly extravagant location. Maybe they were merchants or shopkeepers, and they were having all sorts of nice things taken care of. In each room, there was a small table with a bell, a plain book, and a candle, which I think has some sort of significance, shall we say. But yeah, there were guards going through all sorts of the different rooms and applying rune stones, which were a lot like what we had seen before, or in fact what we had been tasked previously to, hide, squirrel away. And Karth was talking to a woman in pink and yellow, and they were having expensive mushroom tea. And another guard came out of that salon place, whatever weird whole thing. So at that point, there were, I guess, 5. And then in 6 Towers, where we now are, there's an old abandoned electro rail station. And there's a glasswork roof and large windows, goods stacked in crates, and many, many guards. So we have yet to see what the hell is in there.
Yes, I would say the old abandoned electro rail station is where you came out, but the building with like the glass roof and stuff is like a big warehouse. Yeah, on a street that seems to be kind of repopulated for 6 Towers, normally a kind of abandoned area, but a lot of the people who maybe work for the Hive seem to have started sort of living in the abandoned tenements here. And I think like where we specifically left off, Echo is off distracting children by intimidating them by destroying an abandoned sort of house yard, for reasons we won't get into here. But they were valid ones. To save the mission. Bricks and Silver, I believe, are kind of nearby this warehouse. And I think we've established that there aren't any guards outside, but you can see through the windows there are a lot of Hive guards inside. There's this glass window over the top. And quite a lot of people on the streets, kind of going to and from work. And I think, I could be wrong, and maybe a week's or 2 weeks, a week, maybe 2 weeks have made a difference as to your intentions. But I believe we had almost settled on, we kind of don't want to bother with this place. Let's just wait for them to come out. But it's up to you guys now that you're back in the session.
Well, Bricks is definitely starting to feel like he's hoping we're near the end. John knows otherwise. But Bricks is hopeful that soon he can just go to the pub, so he is not currently intending on expending any energy here.
Where is Echo? Because Echo was like hanging back a bit.
Echo is like not probably out of sight now, like in a street behind you, because I believe exactly what happened was essentially a bunch of kids had recognized you from a previous escapade in 6 Towers, and you distracted them first by silencing them by drinking a potion of silence or whatever it's called, which makes everything in a 10-meter radius or something go quiet, and then had just like started going crazy and driven them off. So I think Echo probably isn't in sight for you, Sam. So,
okay. Yeah. In that case, I'm kind of still in the same position. I don't want to try and climb up and look through the roof. That seems very risky. I guess we'd just wait near, like, with vision of the exit/entrance.
Very daring, you might say.
Very daring observation of the door. I can't remember if I've already done this, but I'm gonna say to Silver, wait here, and maybe do like a perimeter walk to see if I can see any other exits out, just so he doesn't sneak out the back door or whatever.
Sure, I think that's fine. I presume though you don't want to be seen while you're doing that. Because there aren't any kind of like alleyways down each side of the warehouse. You're going to have to like round the end of the tenement and kind of come back to investigate what's behind. So if you don't want to be just seen doing that, then you've got a roll to make.
I do. Trying to... Yeah, okay. One moment.
Okay.
I'm assuming I cannot assist. Given that
if you're not there, you're still wrecking up this yard to intimidate a bunch of kids.
So what's our heat at the moment?
Well, now I believe your heat had gone as far as it can go before you start not being able to use your little advantages. Because I think from a rewatch before we started this stream, that Echo took a devil's bargain of a heat that took you to that limit.
Yes.
I
So
remember that.
we can still use it, just no more.
Just no more. Yeah.
So I'm going to do probably a prowl roll would make sense
Sure.
to wander around. I'm not trying to be out of sight. I'm trying to look like I'm nonchalant. I don't know.
Sure.
Do you
I would
still
say
have?
prowl probably isn't the best for that, but
No, I can't think what.
Do you
like
still have
consort or
the whatchamacallit, the disguises, or
I do have a disguise on, yes.
okay? I don't know. There's like sway, consort.
Consort. Just think if there's a different way of doing this.
I mean, if you want to roll prowl, then just prowl. Go around silently. It's fine.
Or quickly, I guess, might be the thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for I'm gonna roll consort.
Okay, I think that's a great effect to just passing yourself off as someone wandering around there casually like.
Okay, so that's one.
And I think this is controlled. Like, I don't think it's particularly suspicious for you to be wandering the streets.
Right, and so I've got one from consort and one from our keeper ability.
And I will offer you another one for a devil's bargain or a tick of a clock.
I feel like I've taken one too many devil's bargains in that I took a devil's bargain last week.
Sure.
Can I assist?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
I will assist.
Okay. Bollocks. My house is a 2.
Well, then, you kind of try and go round the side of the tenement, and you see that there's like a long rambling. It's not quite an alleyway, not quite an actual main road behind the warehouse that seems to go down kind of to the rear of it, where presumably it's got its own entrances and maybe windows and the like. You can see that there are a group of hive guards wandering up that alleyway away from the building and kind of towards where you are. If you want, you can press on with another risky roll to try and just wander past them. There are a couple of other people dotted around this alleyway who aren't, them. Or you can cease this line of pursuance.
Think of all the juicy information.
Going to go for it.
Okay. Same roll? Just risky?
Yeah.
Okay, I will offer you the same devil's bargain as before.
Is Silver still assisting?
Can I still assist?
Yeah. If you're with bricks, then yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then yeah, I'll assist. No,
ratcheting up a couple of stress. Are you taking that devil's bargain? Yeah.
So juicy. It has the word devil in it.
For a risky situation, in honor of Echo not being here, I'll take the devil's bargain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the first devil's bargain was 1 tick, and the second devil's bargain was like 4.
Yeah.
Highest is a 5.
Okay. So let's say you wander kind of like down the alleyway. The two of you kind of like tell me what you're having like a loud conversation about.
I guess wow, that was some terrible mushroom stew at that bar. I don't think we should have eaten that. Really, it wasn't good.
There
was something off about. I don't think we should go back there. Really.
The guards kind of walk past you, but enough of them give you like slightly lingering glances that you like have to walk in a kind of circle. They're not budging for you, like as they come down the alleyway, and you have to kind of like skirt them and go around. And as you do so, you have to kind of like move away from the warehouse building to do so. So you don't get as good a look in as you'd like, but you do get to see something. There is a large set of double doors around the back here, presumably for like, bringing in and taking out cargo. And those double doors are swinging open. And inside you see Carthoris leant up against a wall while a couple of the men and women he's been bringing with him all day kind of go through little checklists as they look through various bits of cargo and various, it looks like kind of, reports on work and stuff like that. He looks bored, as do his guards. This just seems to be quite a humdrum little warehouse operation.
Okay. Is there anywhere like inconspicuous to wait and watch the back door, or is it just an alleyway?
You can probably just lurk. There are kind of the tenements of this road are occupied, but the one it backs onto, some of them very clearly aren't. They're covered in like the windows are covered in cobwebs, and there's no light anywhere within them. And you could definitely like lurk in like a backyard of one of those, observing the back entrance. I mean, I would say obviously if you're observing the back entrance, you definitely want to see the front entrance, and therefore, should Carth leave through the front entrance, you'd be left high and dry.
I guess we need one person at each entrance. It's the smart way of doing this. Bricks, what do you fancy?
I'll take the back.
All right. I don't know how we're gonna communicate where if he comes out, but
make an owl noise.
If we stand at the corners of the building, so we can both see each other, but we can also both see down our respective alleys at the doors.
Yeah, you can stand at the like far end of the end where you came in, essentially, or the other end, I guess, because it's a row of houses. And yeah, you could both stand there and kind of, you'd be away from them, but you would be able to see them exiting for sure.
Great thinking, Bricks.
So I think, Bricks, you're checking out this alleyway. Silver, you're checking out the main road, and you are far away enough from the warehouse. You don't need to make any rolls to stay inobtrusive or whatever. And I'd say that means that Echo, after your dealings, finally driving off these kids away from their haranguing of you by your frankly astonishing behavior. I'd say that Silver is the first person you see as you make your way up to the street where the warehouse is.
Okay, I try and catch her eye, and if she's not looking towards me, I try and sort of sneak up and, I don't know, throw little pebbles at her, wherever she's sort of hiding. And
Silver will turn around, very annoyed at having a pebble thrown at her. Hey, it's you. Don't worry, they're far away. They're way down the street.
Okay. Yeah, I just got rid of those kids. They remind me of myself in some ways. I was like that.
Are they the young scallywags you threw a hand away from, or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, they've got to learn somehow.
You've got to learn about murdered corpses.
Look, I mean, it's clearly was not the first corpse that they have seen. At least, keeping high spirits. It's just, I wish they'd stop marking us on this job.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but I don't think you raised too much suspicion. So hopefully it's all good and we can carry on.
Do we need to get inside?
It could be helpful. It seemed we had a brief look inside, and it seemed just to be run of the mill dealings in a hive warehouse. I don't think either me or Bricks felt particularly suited to sneaking inside or getting a look. So
you do yourself down. I'm sure if you just sort of turned the silver cloak inside out occasionally, it would, be
silver on both sides, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that is tricky. Oh, is that Bricks over there? I sort of wave.
That's Bricks.
The wonderfully inobtrusive keepers. Hello!
I clock Echo waving at me and then immediately turn away and ignore her.
Oh.
As this buffoonery is happening, you see that the main street entrance to the warehouse opens up, and Karth exits with his guards. And did you say that there were 5 in total guards now?
3, 4, 5. Yes, 5.
So I
5
thought he
was the
started
last.
with 2.
We thought he started with 2, but then it was found that he actually had 3 at the beginning.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that sounds right.
yeah.
Okay, another one is with them now. So there are now 6 guards. And Karth and his group leave and start walking kind of away from you down the street, definitely not towards the Electro Rail Station. Or the abandoned Electro Rail Station you arrived at, walking in a different direction.
Okay. Do we have any idea? Like, do we have any idea of the sort of geography of this place, where they might be headed?
They seem to be heading roughly north, but unless you kind of start trailing them pronto, then you won't have much clue. So I believe we were handling these as group roles. I'd suggest that Bricks does not lead it, because Brix's stress is pretty high.
Yeah, I think I picked up on that from the fact that he ignored my wave.
Yes, that was the only reason.
But I believe up until now we've been traveling as like Echo on her own and Bricks and Silver separately to kind of try and maintain some kind of distance between you. So how do we want to follow them through the streets of 6 Towers now?
I mean,
Well, if they've exited out the front, then it sort of makes sense for Silver and Echo to be leading and me following along behind them, as I'm kind of catching up.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I can take this one if you like, as a group role.
Yeah, I don't mind. My stress isn't too bad, so I can also take it. I think it depends what we want to roll, really. If we want to try and do it Prowly or Consorti, which is,
I mean, for very obvious reasons, Prowl is a very good role for this. But equally, you could have other options. It's up to you guys.
I would like to prowl. So I will lead this action. Trying to keep myself and Silver concealed as best I can as we sort of take point and leave Bricks in our dust.
I do not have a devil's bargain for you.
I think Echo gets the extra dice from
Do I?
Yes. If you're trying, yeah. Is it trying to travel unobtrusively or something like that?
It's trying to pass as an ordinary citizen.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So an extra die from that. Yeah. Anyone pushing themselves or anything?
I think I'm sticking with mine. So
You got pretty good prowl anyway, right?
yeah, I'm hopeful. All right. I rolled 2 6s.
Whoo! That's a
So
critical, that.
very, very still, but
How did you do, Sam?
I got a 2. That's my result.
okay. So
That's
one stress.
one stress for Echo, but that's a critical, right? And I'm going to say that the guards seem to be wrapped up in their own little, not an argument, but a wrangle, which Karth is kind of ignoring and just walking on ahead, maybe flanked by a couple of the more senior guards, and the rest of them are just it doesn't seem to be an argument relating to work. It's like some bet one of them made, and they feel like the other one is now kind of trying to back out of the deal and stuff. It's not aggressive, but it's not particularly friendly either, and they're just wrangling as they go through the streets of Six Towers and head even further north than that. Steve, can we bring up the map, please? You find yourself, for the first time in this story, I think, crossing over a bridge into the streets of Brightstone, where the grand mansions and luxury shops of the wealthy elite reside. In fact, let's have a quick description of it, being as we haven't already. Brightstone is home to many of the wealthiest and most influential citizens of Doskvol. Its streets are broad and paved under bright electric lights. Its canals are sparkling and clean with perfumed water. Its houses are all of fine, pale marble blocks, rich timbers, and intricate ironworks. There are cultivated parks fed by radiant energy, lavish restaurants and cafes, jewelers, tailors, and other luxury shops. Street-side vendors are forbidden here, resulting in a serene, spacious atmosphere punctuated by the occasional carriage or marching blue-coat patrol. But you don't get to see too much of that yet, because just after crossing over the bridge and going down a couple of streets and managing, given that critical, to stay remarkably under the radar, considering how very out of place you all look, the possible minor exception of Silver. The group of Hive Guards turns and walks up a set of lovely wrought ironwork steps into an electro rail station, which has quite a few people in it, mostly looking like servants and labourers working for the wealthy people of Brightstone rather than the wealthy people themselves. The really wealthy people don't really travel on these electro rails very much. And they seem to be stood on the platform waiting for an electro rail. It is one marked on the... I think obviously there won't be big touchscreen panels or anything announcing the next place or television screens or anything like that. But I think there's some maybe wooden blocks all along a metal rod that kind of spin with a kind of and show the destination of the next electro rail, which is marked as White Crown. So going from the posh to the poshest, White Crown is that, as you can see on the map, is that island to the north of mainland Doskvol, and it is the seat of the wealthiest of wealthy and the government and all these fine things. And it seems like that is where Karth is headed with his guards.
Is there an indication of time on the platform? Like when the train will arrive?
In the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we probably need to get aboard in some way without being noticed. How busy is the station? Is it?
It's fairly busy. It's probably one of the it's probably the busiest you've been to since the actual railway station. Like I say, there's a lot of servants traveling and messengers and labourers carrying things from Brightstone to White Crown.
Okay, and so the guards and Karth are all waiting on this platform.
Correct.
No one is off on their own. Do people seem to be ignoring them at all, or are they
people are kind of a couple of steps away from them? There are a group of armed individuals on a railway platform. People don't want to nudge into them by accident and spark some kind of violence.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we can try the same trick we did before, although maybe ideally not as desperately, by just casually boarding the same train as them. Hopefully they do board a train and we don't get on a train while they...
Well, as you're saying that, the next electro rail pulls in, and this is one of the ones on a kind of overhead monorail. It comes in crackling and sparking and grinds to a halt in the Brightstone station. The doors open and people flood off, people flood on, and that includes Karth and the guards. So you're heading on. how are you planning on staying kind of incognito near enough to see them this time?
So is this kind of packed, or is
It's
it
busy.
like...
It's not it's not like it's not like London Underground, but it's it's busy. Yeah,
Okay.
busy, but you can see people.
Hmm.
Most of the way down the carriages.
Sure. I think my default will be again to just try and get in one of the like the bits at the side, like the panels that are kind of and just sort of stand there, maybe one carriage in, like one carriage on from them.
Are the others doing the same? I think when we've done this before, it's been just a prowl roll. That does Echo want to lead another prowl roll for the group to just kind of lurk and hope rely on your stealthy skills rather than any other things.
It definitely feels like that's my preference, but
I'm wondering, the hive guards we passed in the alleyway, are they Karth's guards, or were they just guards working at the warehouse?
They just seem to be. They weren't Karth's guards. No, they were
Okay.
just people working at the warehouse.
Fine, never mind.
Yep.
Go on.
It's a good point. Like, are they all like in the similar uniform?
Yeah, they're all in a similar
In the hive uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, indicating.
But the ones in the back alley weren't. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you're worried that they saw you and Silver. It's not the same people.
Yeah, I was wondering whether Silver and I needed to go to another carriage to work on our disguises or whatever. But
you're already all wearing at least one disguise, I think, right? From like the second location, I think, just before you went in the tunnel. Does that ring a bell? Yeah.
I think Silver and I are from when we were in the tunnel.
Sure.
Yeah. Because we took advantage of the darkness. But yeah, Echo leading a prowl roll. I'm happy with that.
I mean, I'm happy with this, apart from the fact I'm probably going to give Echo some stress. I don't know if I could avoid doing this by is there like a far away carriage I could go to and just not be near them, but I'm going to get off this train at Brightstone and see if I can see them.
I think that's fine, but you're going to have to make a roll on getting off the train in order to relocate the group.
Okay. I think I'll do that.
Okay. Fair enough. So Silver busies off. Well, actually, I need to roll for how many carriages there are.
Oh yeah.
So if there's more than 2 carriages, I'm cool with that. But if not, then yeah. There are 2 carriages, I'm afraid.
Okay, just pile the stress on me.
Sorry, Echo.
And you know what? Because of your critical previously, this is a controlled roll as well. So pretty straightforward stuff.
Yep.
So everyone rolling prowl.
Yep.
I do not have a devil's bargain, so go ahead.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 and 3 6s.
That's a triple crit. The rarely seen triple crit.
The rarely seen.
I also rolled a 6, but it doesn't matter because Pierre's beaten me.
That's what happens when I roll prowl.
I rolled a 3 and a 1, and I have to take the lowest, so a 1.
Cool. 1 extra stress.
1 stress. Again, the main problem, Echo, in keeping everyone hidden here is that Silver's, eponymous silver cloak is really starting to take a lot of notice, especially in a place like Brightstone and White Crown, where there are more fashionable people here. Even the servants and the laborers are of a higher class, and they just keep glancing at Silver's lovely silver cloak, sometimes with admiration, sometimes with barely concealed disgust. And it's just, you keep worrying about it, and you worry about it so much that you don't even notice when the Electro Rail pulls in to the station in White Crown. The journey over I guess it's not a river, but like the shore there, the North Hook Channel. The Electro Rail line goes over that, and you are rattling there, kind of like 50 feet or so above the ink black surface of the void sea. And fortunately, it's something of a nerve-wracking trip, because if it detaches, no one is going to survive that. But it didn't, and you were worrying about a silver cloak all the way, so at least you were distracted. The doors open, Karth's group go, and thanks to the wonderful, nippy work of Echo, the three of you managed to slip into the crowd behind them, just the right distance away, just the right visibility. And you know what? For all these consistent criticals you're getting, Echo, now, it always seems to me like, I don't know if maybe other versions of Forged in the Dark do this, but for big crits and stuff like that, it always is odd to me that there's no kind of mechanical thing encouraging me to give you dice on later rolls or something like that. There doesn't really seem to be any way to swing that. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. For those 2 crits in a row you just had, I'm going to knock 2 ticks off a clock.
It's one of those clocks that is like the crew has salvation, and then it's just like, okay.
It's a good clock. No, it is a bad clock, and I'm knocking 2 off for you.
Thank you very much,
because you've been super sneaky.
Just me a devil's bargain and
So White Crown. I think we've only kind of slightly been in White Crown before. And never further in than those kind of tiered terraces opposite the docks, over the channel from the docks. But now you're walking the streets of White Crown themselves. And as you were in Brightstone, attracting a few glares and curious glances, but nothing that apparently you can't handle. You're currently walking through... after emerging out from the general hubbub and crowd, leaving the Electro Rail station and following Karth and his guards, you've emerged into a long, twisting street. The mist of today is finally retreating, but it is being replaced with frost settling all around you on the cobblestones, the very well-appointed, evenly cut cobblestones, on the grass verges, and kind of creeping in trailing skeletal vines up the lampposts of that are shedding a softer light than most of Doskvol has, a kind of gentle orange-yellow glow over the darkened streets, rather than the kind of more harsh neon-esque, white-blue that you're used to. As you walk further and further down the street, you can see Karth and his guards kind of further ahead of you, paying no attention to you at all. But I think we still do need a roll, because we are following them through these streets. What are we doing? Are we going for another group prowl, or are we engaging in some kind of different deception as we make our way?
I mean, for variety, I feel like we should go for something different.
We could do the consort that we sometimes do, to just kind of act natural. And we are just normal citizens walking in this direction of our own accord.
I think unless we could swing fighting our way out, that is as good a bet as...
Well, you know what? You are very near the grounds of Doskvol Academy. And while none of you are certainly high class enough to be able to afford the tuition fees there, some of the students there are notorious for sometimes slumming it with the worst aspects of Doskvol society. Perhaps you could pretend to be students getting their jollies by dressing as the lowers do.
Oh man, that's quite a nice idea.
Sounds good.
Okay, is there anyone super wealthy around that I can see?
There's no one really on the streets apart from, like I say, kind of
few,
labourers and servants going their way. Maybe there's a carriage or two going around, but the truly wealthy don't walk anywhere, Echo.
Certainly not carrying jangling
like strings of gems on gold chains, just wildly whirring in the air.
There's a white
No,
crown,
there's
isn't
no
there?
one. There is no one doing that.
I'd
But
been
no,
told-
there's no one like easily pickpocketed. Like any wealthy people you can see traveling here are all in like either carriages or what are they called when they're like carriages that are carried by
Rickshaws.
people?
Rickshaws.
Yeah, but that isn't like
Is it like fancier?
Oh, like
Yeah. like
I wanna
literally a
say
carriage
pontoon, but it's not.
with just like bars along the bottom and like four guys like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Well, those things.
yeah. Those things. Yeah. Palanquins? I don't know. Either way, those sedan chairs, says Steve. Yeah, maybe, but like an enclosed. You know what I mean. Everyone knows what I mean.
Human
Those
patterns.
things going around. So there are wealthy people around, but they'd be difficult marks right now.
Yep. Okay. I'm happy to go for that kind of pretending like we are working class.
Yes. Very pretending you're working class is a hobby of the ages for people who are not working class. So
It's the cool thing to be.
yeah. So Silver, are you leading this consort?
Yep. Happy to lead it.
A litter is a small one and a bigger one is a palanquin. So that was good with a palanquin.
It's a good word.
It's a very good word, isn't it?
It's very good.
Silver, I think I'm going to be giving you some vengeance stress by being very bad at consorting.
I
deserve
have
it.
no devil's bargains. So
And I assume I don't take like any +1 for the sneakiness. That was only on the main person.
yeah,
right?
that was on the.
Okay, so I'm rolling 2 and taking the worst. I rolled 2 2s.
Yeah, you do get an extra die on this, Sam, for the thing. So.
Yeah, I managed to get a 6.
The great thing about rolling 2 2s is that the
That
worst
Silver
is a
gets
2
some stress.
either way.
You
I rolled a
get to
5.
take the highest. Nice.
Okay, so that's one stress on Silver, and you said you rolled a 6, right? So no complications to that. You follow them through this long, frosted, twisting street, and as you do so, an odd noise starts to arrive ahead of you on the street, kind of bouncing off the walls of Doskwall Academy on one side. And echoing oddly around this winding, twisting street, and it's got that sensation, when you're walking along on a darkened street, and the lights of the street lights above are very bright. You almost kind of you can't even see the sky above you. It's just like this, like there's the glare and a darkness between the glare, and you almost feel like you're in an odd kind of like like underwater or in some kind of like domed place, and the echoes around you are only adding to the kind of odd alien feel of that. And as you stroll forward and as you follow Karth and his guards further, you slowly come to realize that what you're hearing is some kind of entertainment or performance or singing. And as you go still further, you realize that the guard's destination at the end of this twisted street, which has now widened up even more and has kind of landscaping on either side of it, so it's set out to be. It looks like the grounds of a manor or like an old farmhouse. Not that farmhouses or anything particularly exist anymore in this world, but this rambling, odd landscaping, and dead ahead of you, a large and extremely elaborate stone opera house. It has in front of it a statue kind of pouring what must be very, very cold water over into flowing tiers of elaborate stonework, and there are a number of carriages and litters and palanquins kind of lurking outside, and a number of other individuals going in and out, but mainly in to this opera house, and numbering among those Karth and his guards.
Is it very open, this opera house, or is it kind of closed in?
Do you mean the building itself?
Yeah, the building. Is it like
it's all closed in. It's like a big box of a building with a lot of kind of elaborate. I keep saying stonework, but elaborate stonework around the side and on the windows.
What do the guard situation look like? If I scout it out.
There appear to be very well dressed and large individuals lurking near the door, but not actually stood at the door. They seem to be sort of every time someone goes near, they hold their hands out and something is proffered that, like a paper, a ticket of some kind is proffered, and then they are allowed in. Notably, Karth did not. He just walked straight inside.
Right. So, if we want to sneak in, I guess we might want to obtain a ticket, or pretend we have one.
Or 3.
Yes, or 3. Are there any easy marks that I can see for stealing a ticket?
Let's roll a fortune roll, shall we? I'd say people here aren't used to being targeted, so I'll give you an extra die for that. And you are used to targeting people, so I'll give you an extra die for that. How about that? And all the criticals and various things we've had. So I rolled a 3, a 4, and a 6. So there is a very unfortunate gentleman who is stood over. He's kind of stood behind a large tree that's part of this landscaping nearby, dressed in quite elaborate red clothes, kind of like that's puffed out at the shoulders and at the hips. Very kind of old-fashioned, with a kind of drooping hat with a feather hanging down from it. And he's kind of rummaging in all sorts of pockets that he has, which is very difficult because he has one of those lantern canes that Dolmore has, and he's trying to, like, rather than just ram it into the ground, which he could, and then see by it, he's kind of like shuffling it between his arms as he's navigating about, 12 different pockets on his person to try and find it. And he's muttering under his breath, a kind of like, oh, darn it, where is it? I knew it was here.
Okay. I will approach said man.
But if he doesn't know what pocket it's in, what chance do you have?
The chance of being fully sober and being able to see it sticking out of that pocket right there next to the, I believe, 13-carat gold pocket watch.
There's actually just a piece of paper that entitles the owner of it to 1,000 experience points.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'll approach. I'm going to try and actually, I think the best way to steal something like this from this person is to approach them and try and like help them by like patting them down and being like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm colliding with you at various points, and like in the I don't know.
I have to say, I'm struggling to imagine how someone could just wander up and start patting someone down and not be seen as a criminal.
Well, isn't that the sort, like, I guess the sort of thing is like maybe, oh yeah, okay. I'm just sort of thinking, like, in terms of actual real life pickpockets, often the thing that they do is they touch the person and then like, and they're like, I'll help you up or whatever, and actually you're feeling inside of their pocket while you're doing that. But
I think they've got to fall over first for that.
Yeah, that might well be the case. Okay. Oh yeah.
Give a suggestion of something that could occur to Echo
Mm-hmm.
via telepathy or whatever. You could offer to hold his lantern for him, keep holding it in exactly the wrong place, and then just keep like accidentally getting in the way.
Yeah, I quite like it. Yeah, so I guess the only thing is if he's so distracted that actually there's a plausible chance that he won't even see me walking up.
I think there is a plausible chance of that, yeah.
Okay, well in that case I will go with that.
Okay. Are you just literally going to try and sneak up to him and find it before he does and pickpocket it off him?
Yeah, actually, okay, that's you're raising good points. I don't think that's very plausible. So what instead I will do is an idea that has occurred to me via telepathy, which is walk up to this man, offer to steal, offer to help him out, offer to hold his lantern, and like ask him, like what's the matter? Is everything okay? Meanwhile, I'm trying to get kind of chummy with him. And
okay. Well, what I think we've got two roles there. So what are you going to roll to go up to this guy, looking like you very much don't belong here, and persuade him that he should, like, that you are a concerned helper?
I'm going to use sway, I think.
That seems the most appropriate.
Yeah. And offer my help. I'll ask. No, yeah. I think I'll walk up just straightforwardly.
Okay.
Sway this
I will offer a devil's bargain for heat.
Oh, it is a devil's bargain, but at the same time,
sacrificing a die.
Well, yeah, okay.
That's the thing. Won't you lose? I guess you'll lose a die afterwards, so you'd still get it for this roll. But at every future roll,
I probably wouldn't get it for this roll.
I'm not sure it applies to this role particularly. Like that, like it's not just any social deception. Like you're not an ordinary citizen if you're here. So it.
Yeah. Yeah. God, I suck at this so much. God, Silver, you'd be so much better at this than I am.
I was wondering why we weren't engaging the services of Silver, but
yeah, I mean,
it's not too late to switch plans.
I'm happy to try this. I can give assistance, but my stress is getting up there.
What about if you try and get the guy's attention, locate the delicious item, and I'll nick it from him.
That seems like a really good plan to me.
And I'll lurk in the shadows just in case
it goes wrong. All right, Silver. You seem much better placed to do this. If you want to distract him via whatever you're doing, again, I will offer you a devil's bargain for heat if you want it. And I don't think your role will benefit from the keeper's rule.
Okay, I won't take the devil's bargain anyway because we might need that later.
Yeah.
I'll try and sway. I might see if I could offer him a drink from like a flask.
Yeah, like a hit flask or something.
But I would put my trance powder in it to be like, hey, can I have that ticket?
Sure, yeah.
So that is what I'll attempt with my sway roll. Just
sure.
Okay. I got a 6.
I think that's probably worked perfectly. You walk up to the gentleman. He's kind of like of sort of middle years, and he blinks and kind of looks at you myopically in the light as you go up. Sort of like a odder kind of like squat build, and he just kind of goes, "Oh, is it? Are you one of the staff? I seem to have misplaced my ticket."
Oh dear, sir. It is very. I understand it can be very stressful here. Let me hold your drink. Would you hold your staff? What has he got?
He's got like a walking stick that has like a lantern affixed onto the top of it.
Let me hold your stick for you. Would you like a quick drink just to take the edge off? Perhaps that would help.
It is bitterly cold tonight. I don't know. My men are off sick. I shouldn't be walking on the streets at this time of night. And he takes that flask off you, knocks it back. Could you give us a description of the trance powder, please?
Yes. A dose of the popular drug which induces an altered mental state. The victim of this powder is not fully unconscious, but rather retreats into a calm, suggestible mental state, similar to hypnotism.
Fair enough. And is that a load you need to cross off?
That is 0 load.
Fair enough. He kind of knocks it back and says, much better. Yes. That's nice. And he's sort of swaying gently on his feet.
Now,
yeah.
let me help you find your ticket for you, sir. And I will just start looking in his pockets and
without being restricted by like jumbling. You find it fairly quickly. It's just in one of his trouser pockets. It is the one ticket, but there is a ticket.
Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy the performance. And
Maybe
I'll just walk off with his ticket.
Maybe you could like replace it with just a piece of paper and be like, "Oh, this is your ticket. I found it. It's in this pocket."
That would certainly keep him occupied maybe a little bit longer. So that could be
Yeah, that seems weird. It might also distract some of the guards at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll suggest he goes over there. Go over to those guards. I'm sure they'll take your ticket. If they don't, you really should insist. I'm sure they'll let you in.
Yes, I do. I have it here, and I will just take in the night air a little bit longer, and I will. And he's kind of tucking it in and just kind of like tight, because all of his pockets have like sort of not threads, like ties through them, and he's like tying each of the pockets closed. As you just kind of wander off, and he's quite happily mumbling to himself as you wander off with his ticket in your hand.
I resheath the dagger that I was about to use.
Okay, we have a ticket. What does the ticket say? Anything on it? Does it say like this is for one person to this?
Yeah, it's for one person for a performance of. It's a performance of an opera called Hang on, I just need to look up a word to make sure I'm not saying something utterly awful.
The big blue.
It's called The Parsimony of Lady Jessica.
Okay. I've made a careful note of that as just in case.
It's definitely meaningful.
Now, this is where Matt is double bluffing us, and actually, this is the most important clue.
It's an opera called "The Walls Must Fall."
Oh my god!
No.
Well, we've got the ticket, but only the one.
I heard you suggesting that. That's maybe. If you go in with the ticket, I'll see if we can get. Maybe you can claim Bricks as your guard, and I'll try and sneak in when that guy causes a scene. Oh man, he's still doing up those pockets.
He does.
If I can't get in, I'll just try and scout the outside. But
could always try shimmying up the drain pipes. That's what we used to do when we were kids and we wanted to break in.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think this opera house has drain pipes.
Yeah.
Then how does it get rain off its roof, Matt?
Well, I take your point, Bricks,
in the gutter.
But I can see that it actually does not have any drain pipes. Well, we'll see. What do you think of that sort of idea, maybe?
It seems like a reasonable plan. Hopefully he makes a good enough distraction. He should at least occupy the guards for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay. So the plan is to try and get two of you in with one ticket. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, that was...
Because
just
I'm a servant and doesn't count.
Is there anywhere I could potentially change my clothes nearby.
Oh, I thought you said change the ticket.
Just
Cut it in
wander
half.
two
Now
on
it's
it.
2.
Yeah. Yeah. There's enough kind of like trees and odd bits of landscaping that you can kind of try and change your. Why are you carrying a disguise that's like a fancier set of clothes?
Under slide items, I have fine clothes and jewelry, which is 2 load, but an outfit that appears to be of such fine make as to pass you off as a wealthy noble. So,
well, there we go. Then you've got the load to take it, right?
yeah, I took normal load because I was on a train and I had a little bag.
Yeah. Silver, you get yourself dressed up all fancy like. Why don't you tell us what Silver's noble clothes are like?
Oh god, what are the noble fashions of Duskbowl? Is my question.
You tell me.
I think Silver might wear like a fancy dress, like a nice kind of long dress that going to the opera
in silver, presumably.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they're like poofy, or do you reckon they're like extremely like
slinky? The two sides of the dress triangle
of the fashion world.
Those are the technical terms: slinky or poofy.
Those are not the only 2 dress types I feel the need to point out.
Is the fashion big or small?
Let's say big. That's more interesting.
This is the opera, right?
Yeah.
Is there a bustle? That's what we need to know. So, yeah, Silver
At
is
least 2 petticoats.
Silver is all dressed up. Yeah, you can walk forward to the entrance to the opera house. The people on the door, large, well-dressed individuals who are kind of looking around, and they see you approach, and one of them sort of sketches a little bow and kind of holds his hand out for the ticket.
I will hand over the ticket and attempt to just walk like on immediately.
Yeah, but followed by Bricks.
Yes. And I will have changed out of my Scovlan outfit as well.
Sure. Are you more in kind of just regular Bricks wear?
Not quite. Bricks does dress relatively scruffy, so it is what you'd probably describe as Brix's church wear, but he doesn't go to church.
Who did we determine that we'd found the train, like the train guard costume for?
Can't remember if that was Silver or Echo.
I think it was Silver had found it for Silver.
Sure. Well, that'll be an extra load for your fancy clothes. You as soon as you kind of like step forward, the gentleman who took the ticket turns and says, "Oh, that won't be necessary, Mum. There is a plethora of security inside. One ticket per holder, I'm afraid."
I'm supposed to have a ticket for my bodyguard?
Yes, Mum. If they wish to go inside, the governor himself pays for the tickets of his guards, and did so tonight.
He's not going to watch the performance. Could he just stand slightly inside? Seems cruel to leave him outside in the cold night.
Oh, there is a lean-to round the corner, Ma'am, where servants and other individuals without tickets may loiter in the relative warmth.
I'll look at Bricks.
I'll give a slightly restrained bow / nod and turn towards the lean-to.
It seems to be like kind of round the corner from the opera house. There's like a little wall as part of the landscaping, and you can see like a sort of, it's like it's not a horrible grimy shed, but it is like a little shed where the gardener's tools for all the landscaping are kept, and there's a little like stove fire in there with a few individuals, some of them very obviously bodyguards, a few others kind of like attendants and servants and people who carry the palanquins, and they're all kind of gathered around the larger ones are gathered around the stove fire. The others are bundled up off in the corner shaking.
Delightful.
Yeah.
As I'm here, I'm going to be probably getting a card game going, and also trying to weasel some information about who everyone works for, why they're all here. Cetera,
Sure.
et cetera.
I mean, they're here to watch the opera, but
I mean, okay, why they're that makes sense.
sure. Silver, you're heading inside, I believe. Inside is, a vast, very ornate, very upper class chamber with a grand set of stairs sweeping upwards. The sound of the singing of the opera is almost overwhelming in here, kind of reverberating around the walls. Off to either side of you is a wing of people lounging on divan chairs. It seems like quite a lot of the people are not particularly here to, watch the opera, but maybe listen to it and talk and socialize. And they're all lounging on divans, and each divan has by it a small table which has a little music box by it, and some of them are kind of like winding them up and setting them off, although how they can hear them over the sound of the singing you really have no idea. Further over to the left, you can see a group of individuals who stand out a little bit. It is Karth and his guards. They are gathered by what seems to be like a stage door leading through to kind of, where people are working or, supporting the performers in some way. And Karth is stood at that door talking with quite a well-dressed, well-appointed individual, a manager of some kind, with a dark suit and a long kind of red cravat, and they're talking in quite an even, they're leant over towards each other so they can hear each other, and they're talking in quite an agreeable business-like way. The actual opera itself is up and further on, up those stairs and further on through doorways. That's it.
Okay, I think maybe I feel like I'm not going to look too out of place here, so I'm going to try and pick somewhere to sit and just lounge about, potentially where I can hear this conversation.
Sure.
Or try to overhear it.
With the sound, you'd have to be very, very close, which is a roll I'm happy for you to make, but obviously it's going to be a bit sticky. It's up to you. Well, you know what? It's unfair for you to make the decision without me offering you an estimate of it, And I think, let's look. Let's see. You know what? Given how things are going, which is pretty well all told, I'm going to say it's risky. But I'll tell you this. If it goes badly, it's immediately getting ratcheted to desperate.
Yeah, let's do it. Daring.
Sure. So, what role are you making?
I'm gonna try to roll consort. I want to just, be part of this social gathering and look like I'm meant to be here.
Sure, absolutely. I will offer you Devil's Bargain for a tick of a clock.
Okay, as long as it's not a heat.
It's not a heat. It's a tick of a clock.
Okay. So I'm rolling 3 dice.
How could you take that Devil's Bargain?
I got a 6, a 3, and a 4.
Perfect. So you find yourself in a small group of what you feel are more maybe minor nobles, and maybe even some students from the academy. Over near that conversation, you kind of stand on the far side, and they're just talking about various events of the city, like the recent oil crisis springs up, and they're just talking and expressing various opinions about the state of the city and the politicians and leaders of it. And you just lurk on the backside of that, close enough to hear snippets of conversation from near the stage door. And honestly, you find yourself slightly disappointed because Karth and this, what appears to be maybe a stage manager, are essentially talking about supplies, specifically about kind of like backstage supplies, timber, food, Leviathan oil and all these things. And like basically when these things should be delivered, there seems to have been some furore recently about delivery schedules for this kind of thing, and Karth seems to be there just to smooth it over.
Okay. I'm probably happier to hear, even though it's not very exciting, I'm probably happier to hear that than like some big conspiracy or something like that.
Absolutely. And very quickly the deal seems to be done. You get the sense that Karth has been sent here to show how much the Hive are serious about this matter, not in an intimidating fashion, to appease, to kind of like put someone's hackles back down. And the stage manager kind of nods, looks pleased, and shakes hands with Karth, and then heads off. And Karth and his group turn away. As this is going on, Brix is trying to get a gambling game going. Echo, have you been trying to break into the opera house?
Yeah. I'm basically like it does depend kind of on whether the scene caused by that guy is actually in any way distracting.
It's not. I mean, it's only taking up one of the guys on the door. It's not like it's not a massive distraction.
If I can't see any good way in, then what I'd like to do is maybe play second fiddle to whatever Brix's scheme is, and maybe try and like play the cards in a sort of practiced antagonistic way to get more information.
Sure.
And maybe also get a bit more money out of these poor... Well, they're probably richer than us, these bodyguards.
Probably, yeah.
They're dealing with the creme de la creme.
Sure. Well, I think we need a role for this game. So it seems to be a role led by Brix. Is that what we're going for?
I mean, yeah. I can also maybe just do some finesse to like sleight of hand cheat. But yeah,
are we doing a finesse role that Brix is leading, or
yeah?
How do you feel?
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, let's do it.
What's the point of a card game if you're not cheating? Like,
if this results in trauma for Brix, then that's a hell of a development.
It shouldn't.
Okay,
shouldn't. We'll be fine.
All right,
we'll be fine. I'm not going to offer you a devil's bargain because I definitely consider this a side quest.
Okay, I'm rolling my dice. Highest roll was a 6.
My highest was a 4.
There we go. That's perfect then. You lead the this little group of servants and bodyguards in a game of guts, which rapidly goes your way. You grab some winnings from these unsuspecting idiots, and you try and get kind of information from me. But as you can imagine, having just seen what's happening inside, none of these people are in any way connected to the Hive or Karth or anything like that. So the information they can give you is, I work for this noble and they're in there to watch the opera.
Yeah.
So
and none of them are like the most important noble in the city or anything like that. They're just generic.
No, the governor's the governor's people are not here. You're not talking to Lord Strangford's or Lord Skurlock's people or anything. No, they're just nobles.
Cool.
Sort of people. You don't get the impression there's no grand conspiracy happening. It's just an opera. Even if the most powerful person in Doswell was here, that wouldn't. It's the opera of White Crown. They might just be there.
Yeah, I get it. This isn't Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, there's not a big conspiracy I'm setting you on the tail of. It's fine. I just want to get the chicken in the cage. Just kick it over in the corner. Just try and.
Don't kick the chicken.
Don't kick the chicken. Hi, Sam. Welcome back.
Don't pick
The end result of that roll is whenever I give you your coin at the end of this score, remind me to add 1 to it if I haven't already for the winnings from the game.
Yeah.
Silver. I'm taking it that you're waiting a moment and then trailing gently after Karth as he and the guards exit.
Yeah, are they leaving the building?
Yep, they're leaving through the front door again.
Then yes, I'll follow shortly behind.
Okay. As you emerge from from the front, you can just see there's a little huddle over next to the door and a voice going, "But I don't understand. This was a ticket, I assure you." Not really a a massive distraction or calamity, but certainly it's happening. And yeah, I'd say Bricks and Echo, you can see Karth and his guards kind of leaving and heading off through the frost-covered streets of Whitecrown. They look to be heading back in the direction of the rail station.
I'll just say, I guess I'll have to accept my loss and go and head off.
Meanwhile, I'm going to retire as the undisputed champion. Leave you lads the cards.
Lucky bastard.
You hear a few muttered swear words as you leave the lean-to. Right. So Silver is still in the nobles get up, unless you're very swiftly going to try and change your clothes. What roll are we making to track Karth back towards the rail station? And who's going to lead it?
I can lead a consort if that is okay, as I'm a noble person in this place and I have a bodyguard or I have 2 bodyguards, or a bodyguard and a servant, or
a very grimy servant.
Yeah, that's how servants are meant to be in Whitecrown.
Yeah.
I feel like as I'm walking along these beautifully kept streets, I'm just like leaving a trail of various like grime and dust, like oil marks on everything I touch.
I think consort is a fine one to use, just in case, because I know you also have it. I think sway is better, but it's up to you.
If sway is better, I have more sway, so I'll do sway.
Because sway is more like
giving.
Yeah, I think sway is more important. Is a better way to convince. Like if you were talking to other nobles, then consort is the way to convince them you're a noble. But if you're just walking along the street, I think sway is the tip top one, if that's what you wanted.
Yep, seems good.
So are we trying to, like, is this a group action in which we're kind of
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be fun.
Unless one of you wants to lurk behind and follow.
No, I think I can play the disgusting servant well.
Fine. I will offer you Devil's Bargain for a tick of a clock, Sam.
What's the worst that could happen?
I don't think so. It's already a group action. We should succeed it.
Go for it.
Hopefully.
My highest
10 stress.
I got a 6.
Hey.
Nice. I got a 5. Bricks is the swayiest.
There we go. You find yourselves into a nice rhythm as you walk along. Silver, how are you talking to others? Are you like scolding them for some reason, or?
No, I think I don't think I'd dare to scold Bricks. I think I'd be playing the part of a very nice noble, saying, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry they had to leave you in the lean-to out there." I'm not gonna say Bricks. What's a good name?
Wilson.
I'm sorry, Wilson. I really wish you could have come inside, but unfortunately, it seems just stricter and stricter nowadays.
It's all right, Mom.
Can I just say I'm instantly regretting not suggesting a name like Boggins or something like that.
I'm bad,
Harlequin.
It's all right, Mom. We had a perfectly pleasant evening.
Speak for
well.
yourself.
It's not my fault you're shit at guts.
So you follow Karth and his guards all the way back to the Electro Rail station, where they just queue up again. It's a bit quieter this time, and the Electro Rail that arrives. I'm just trying to hustle the game along now. I don't know if you can tell, because I don't want to run along again on this. I don't know how this score has taken so long. I'm not blaming anyone for it. I just don't know. It's beyond
Magic.
me. A 5-carriage Electro Rail arrives. How you can sense that Karth and his guards seem to be quite weary now, particularly the guards, and they seem to be a bit twitchy and just kind of like someone when their shift is coming near an end. You get the feel that maybe this is the last destination that they're going to head to. How are you going to secrete yourselves around this carriage or the rail in order to prevent them from clocking you again?
I think distance is our friend, probably. By the way, was there one extra guard, or was that pattern broken?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, you know what? We've already left, and I didn't do it, so let's say no.
I agree. Taking up a far away position is what I would be in favor of.
Okay.
Surely, even if we lost him now, we would still have good information.
So who's rolling, and what are they rolling?
I can roll, and I guess it's like maybe finesse or prowl. Finesse would be just like, I don't know. Well, maybe it's more prowl. It's moving so that you're out of the way, so that you keep people in between you and the other person. But mainly relying on the crowd to keep us concealed, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Is anyone assisting? Or anything? I'm not offering a devil's bargain.
I will assist.
Cool. I am rolling 4 dice. I rolled a 6.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely fine. And let's have that map back up, please, Steve. And the Electro Rail, as before, rattles back down to the south. It follows the same rail line over the Norfolk Channel and then through Brightstone and then through Six Towers until it comes down to Night Market there at the far southeast of Doskvol, where Karth and his men alight and walk out into the bustling streets of Night Market, which, as the name might suggest, is the trading hub of Doskvol. Now, how are we going to follow them out into Night Market? It has to be said, Silver, if you wear fancy clothes and jewelry out there on the streets of Night Market, that jewelry might be gone in a couple of hours' time. And even if it's paste jewelry, maybe it would be annoying to have that lifted off you. Are you going to attempt to change costume or disguise in any way as you proceed onwards?
Yes. As soon as I find an opportunity, a place that I could change.
Sure. Somewhere you can duck into, or do you want to maybe lag a bit behind the others and make a roll to do it and catch them up?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Go ahead and do that. What are you going to roll for that?
Maybe something like, let me see what the stats are called. I mean, there's a few. Maybe something like study or survey to find them in the crowd after falling behind.
No, yeah, that's good. I think finesse is fine to just quickly do the deed as well, but it's up to you. I think all those are fine. Yeah, different approaches on it.
Okay. I mean, finesse is better, but I said study or survey. I have one in both of those. So
sure. I think survey would be the one. Not that it makes any particular difference for the purposes of these, but will I offer you a devil's bargain for this? I don't think I will.
Okay. What's my stress at? I don't want to lose them. I might push myself. It takes me close, but not too close.
Sure.
That's what they all say.
Okay. So, rolling 2. I got a 6. Nice.
Yeah, absolutely fine. You maybe don't even announce it to Bricks and Echo. You just vanish behind them off into a little side street where you quickly, change your clothes, duck out, and you see Bricks and Echo further ahead of you. You dash through the growing crowds on the streets of Night Market and make your way to where they were while still following Karth. And where you are in Night Market is adjacent to the vast ironwork wall surrounding the rail station. There are huge stacks of nets and ropes around, presumably some kind of supply coming in, and the warmth pouring out of the doorways of numerous shops, taverns, and eateries on this paved avenue are ensuring that the frost that was so present in White Crown can't settle here. Everything is accompanied by kind of the riotous clamor of street traders and people getting drunk and having fun and not having fun in all the doorways around you, accompanied primarily by the sounds of vast clunking machinery somewhere in that ironwork wall, kind of behind the surface you can see. The hive guards stride through these streets fairly confidently until they arrive at a very large and very busy tavern that they step inside. Now, we have just veteran tavern namers here in this group, and I would like let's roll and see who's picking that and who's picking that. Pierre, I would like you to give us a adjective, and Sam, I would like you to give us a noun. And while you're doing that, while you're thinking, you can generate them randomly or just come up with whatever.
Done. My adjective is swarthy.
Swarthy.
A favorite adjective of Lovecraft for all the wrong reasons.
I'm going to say the noun is rail worker.
The swarthy rail worker. That's, yeah. So here on the racist streets of Night Market, we have the swarthy rail worker, where these guards have gone in.
Okay. So just the guards, or it also Karth?
Yeah, the Karth as well. Yeah.
Cool. Is that the only entrance to this place?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see no reason not to just walk in.
Yeah.
It's certainly the most, you place that they've gone into. Like, you draw no attention just going into a tavern in Night Market. So
sure. I'll follow Bricks in.
Yeah. You head on in, and I guess we've got to look at, Karth and his guards went in a short while before you, so you're going to have to look around if you want to find them for sure. So who's going to make a roll for that?
I'll survey the room.
Sounds good. I will offer you tick of a clock, devil's bargain.
I might need it. Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. That sounded like somebody finishing off a clock.
Long way from it, really.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. You look around for a while, and then you spot Karth and his guards sat in a room near the back of the tavern. It's still like an open area, where other customers are sitting, and they're sat around in a group and talking to an individual who doesn't look terribly happy to see them. You don't think it's a shakedown, but it's not entirely not a shakedown either. You don't know if they're someone from this tavern or whether they're just here, but Regardless, it's not a terribly positive situation, but one that hasn't broken out into outright intimidation or violence or coercion just yet. But yeah.
But there are 6 guards near this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are there any tables near the doorway of the little room? I mean,
there are, and there are some probably 3 tables in that room.
Yeah. Care for a point?
Always.
Okay. I'll get a point and go towards that room.
Okay. I would now like a check of noticing something. I would like it to be a group action. So who's going to lead it?
I can, so I will. Noticing feels like survey is probably the thing I would go for.
That's a good one.
So I will roll to survey.
I will offer you a devil's bargain or a tick of a clock.
I don't. Now it feels bad accepting it, but it also feels like I might need to. Yeah, let's go for it.
Go for it. Go for it.
I just need it. Okay, I'm rolling my 2 dice.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 3.
I also rolled a 3.
Well, that's 2 stress for Echo.
Very good. With a final result of a 4.
Of a 4. So
we saved our bad luck for the end.
Sure. You, as you're about to kind of go into this room, and there's a table quite nearby them, and you've earmarked it. But you find yourself, you kind of Echo, you're carrying the 3 drinks of the group, and you're going a bit slowly and trying not to get kind of barreled into and tip them over. And it's rather good that you were going slowly, because as you enter the room, you glance over to your side and see at another table in this black room are about 6 individuals. And you recognize 3 of them. The other 3 are all wearing kind of standard Dosval clothes, all swathed in a blue cloak. And the other 3 are all fairly recognizable members of the Billhooks, including the 2 you hoodwinked at the station that time.
That's a bad thing to be in the other corner of the room. I will attempt to not. I will not try and not break stride, but I won't go for the table that I was about to go for. And I'm hoping that by doing this, I will sort of signal to Silver and Bricks that maybe over there is some sort of problem, without saying anything.
Yeah, I think
I'm drawing your attention to the.
You can draw attention to them. So the question here now is: are you going to retreat from this area, or are you going to continue to, try and be close to Karth and these other individuals? You've got time, I'd say, for a little whispered conversation about it. And I'm going to say that you have 60 seconds to mutter to each other about it before someone on that table with billhooks is going to look over and go, "Keepers!" And it doesn't mean you have to leave after 60 seconds. It means you have to, whether it's you're quickly disguising yourself or just trying to stay unobtrusive with a prowl roll, whatever, right? You've got 60 seconds to discuss this between you before something happens. Go.
Well, 2 of us are already in disguises.
Okay, I should probably leave. I think if I get out of here, maybe I'll be noticed, and then I'll just book it and try and get away from these fucking guys. And you guys stay here to look after them.
Yeah. Right. Echo.
Okay.
Take Silver's cloak off her.
Is Silver in disguise? I thought Silver had taken off her disguise.
I've
Yeah,
I've
I did actually
changed-
mean me and Echo.
Oh,
Oh,
is Echo in disguise?
You had some kind of disguise while we were in the dark
I
alley.
think it was pretty
Sure.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Silver, do you want to fuck off?
Yeah, I need to leave. These people, these are the people that I lied to their
Yeah.
face and took all their money. I'm
Okay.
going to
Okay.
go ahead and leave.
So it sounds like Silver's leaving right now, just getting out of there.
Yeah.
And Bricks and Echo are going to try and fade into the woodwork
Yeah.
and hope their disguises hold up. Does that sound right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Carry on.
Kind of a side point. Did the Billhooks ever know it was the keepers who did it, or did they just meet
We
us
have-
and know what we look like?
We
by
have no
our-
idea.
Okay, we maybe don't know.
It's kind of up in the air at this point, but definitely if they saw you, you'd be in real danger
Yeah.
of them putting 2 and 2
Yeah.
together.
Okay.
Also, the only one of them they actually saw on the job was Silver. In
Yeah.
disguise.
That's true.
Good memory.
But
Yeah.
they do also know Echo and Bricks.
That's
Mhm.
true.
But it's like whether they recognize you by disguise. It's not even necessarily that they'd go, they're the ones who hoodwinked us at the station. It's they'd go, they're the keepers. Let's stab them.
Yeah,
So,
Night market.
you know, there is that. Okay, so Silver, you get yourself out of there. That's absolutely fine. You don't need to roll for it or whatever. Bricks and Echo,
Mhm.
I need a risky roll. It's up to you whether it's a group action or a roll each. I'm
Mhm.
guessing that for both of you, a group action would be really dangerous right about now.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
both got so maybe a single roll for each of you, and it's up to you what that roll is to stay unobtrusive enough to observe Karth and his guards through their meeting here.
Yep. I'm going to go for a prowl.
That seems like a
just-
very sensible pick.
Going for the shadows.
I will offer you a devil's bargain. Tick of a clock.
Part of me just wants to see what's at the end of this clock.
No.
But-
Yeah.
No, I won't accept your devil's bargain.
Okay.
I will sensibly reject it.
Okay. Why do we have Echoes roll in its entirety first then, and then we'll go to Bricks?
Yeah.
I rolled
so-
a 2, a 3, and a 6. So
So all good. Bricks, what are you rolling?
Okay. I'm going to. Did I use finesse for that loitering on the street corner?
can't remember.
What loitering on a street corner? I can't remember.
When I was outside the warehouse.
I don't think I made anyone roll for that. And finesse would be an odd roll for loitering.
It is. That is true. I
Do you want me to have a look at your character sheet and suggest a 1 or?
yeah, that would be. I don't think you have my updated character sheet.
I mean,
though.
it consort. Consort is probably the most fitting one you've got.
It probably
I
is.
think
Yeah.
yeah,
and-
like you can always pick others, but it's like they're going to be a real lesser effect if you want to use rec or command or something.
Oh yeah. No.
The closest I can think of is use rec and start a fight.
That's my
but-
plan B.
That would kind of attract attention to you, but you know, if you did a good roll, it would still pay off. But I think if you want to just try and say just roll consort and like just be talking to people and like, you know, blend into the background.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for consort. I'm also going to put my granddad's hat on, partly to add to the disguise,
Sure.
and partly because if Karth sees it, he might feel a sort of kinship for me in case the Billhooks try and shank me.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain for the tick of a clock.
Go for it. Look, I went without, so
Yeah, I think Echo went without, so I could go with.
Yeah,
so I'm going to accept that.
Sweet.
It's very, very
yeah.
selfless.
Okay.
I starved myself of devil so that you may feast.
I love that Nick Cave album. Oh, I rolled 2 2s.
So it was worth it in the
no.
end.
Absolutely. So, Echo, you're sat there kind of like blending into your surroundings. Maybe I imagine you like actually like hunched up on the bench, maybe with a drink, like
It's a very small.
in over your. Although you know this is what people normally see of you anyway. But Bricks, you never stood a chance. You know, you're 7 foot tall or something, and you're just there, kind of like, you know. Could you give us a physical impression of Bricks trying to blend into the background, please?
I mean, I think it's pretty much what I do all of the time, but bigger and
Sure.
probably louder.
I'm just imagining you kind of like.
I think there might be an amount of like a.
Sure, with something far too small for your massive meaty head.
If they can't see you,
Just kind of like. Yeah. So, you know what? You're doing this, and you're finding, and you know, I think Echo notices it quicker than you do. That a couple of Karth's guards are looking at you kind of oddly, and one of them leans over to Karth and like says something to him. And at first, he kind of like brushes. He kind of brushes the woman off, like kind of because he's intent on talking to this individual who's seemingly more and more cowed as the conversation goes on. Kind of, and then the guard kind of nudges Karth and leans over far more urgently and kind of tugs on his thing. Karth looks around and looks straight at you with a kind of dead-eyed stare. What are you going to do? You think very strongly that you've been made.
I'm going to go to plan B. I'm going to throw my chair at the billhooks. Cause a distraction and leg it.
That's what I like to hear. So, can you give me a skirmish roll, please?
Oh, gladly.
Into
I
one
also
consolidated problem.
My healing stomach wound, which is a level 1 less effect, may factor into this.
Okay, yeah, I think that will. Yep.
Let's go for those dice. Yeah. Oh, and do I have a thing that does? Oh, I have when I unleash physical violence, it's especially frightening.
Okay.
Nice.
But with a 3, it's probably not that frightening.
Oh,
It's probably not. The 3 is the best you did out of all your skirmish there.
3, 3, 2.
Oh, I was going to offer you a devil's bargain. Sorry, for the tick of
Oh.
a different clock. Do you want that?
Yes.
Retroactively.
Go for it. Go for it.
That's a 6.
That's
So
a 6.
worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna. How does this sound? You kind of like lift up your massive leg behind the table you're sat at and just send it spinning across the room by pushing out, and it crashes into the side of the billhooks. Mainly that one, I think I described him at the station. He's like a guy as big as you with some huge mutton chops and like balding with hair hanging down at the back, and he spins round and sees you and clocks you, you know, not just that guy. You can see he's like, that's one of the fucking keepers, and he just leaps across the room with a howl, like swinging and throwing his like big pewter tankard at you that smashes into the wall behind you. Are you engaging with this or trying to get the hell out of a room which is rapidly erupting into violence? You know, others of the billhooks are jumping across. There's like another guy at the table you're sat at. You don't know him, nothing to do with him, but another of the bill hooks has like leapt towards him and is like slashing at him with a shank. Are you trying to get out of this situation, or are you engaging with it?
In any other circumstance, I would love to engage in it, but in this circumstance, I am trying to get out as a distraction.
Okay. Echo, you rolled successfully. I think. Are you going to try and lurk and see the fallout of this a bit, or are you taking this opportunity to get the hell out?
I think helping Bricks by maybe trying to, like, in all the chaos, I don't know, smash some alcohol somewhere and start a fire or something.
So is that like?
So the intent is to probably get out.
If that is assist, like, do you have the stress to assist?
We have one extra stress box, right?
Yeah,
we do.
Right.
So we've got like 10, right?
Yeah. So I currently have one unticked stress box, which I think if I hit it would ordinarily mean I'm bad. But
it's trauma, but but because you guys have got one extra for taking the upgrade. I
think I'll try and just ride the chaos and increase it and get out. Is what I think.
No, but are you assisting Bricks with whatever roll Bricks is about to make to escape?
Yes.
Okay. What roll are you making to escape, John?
Skirmish, because I'm going to try and batter through.
Yep, that seems perfectly reasonable. You can take an assist from Echo, and I am going to give you. I'll give you a Devil's Bargain, which will be a level 1 harm.
I'm happy to take that.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm hoping to inflict more than a level 1 on the other guy.
Sure.
So that is 5. Highest is a 5.
Okay. So you kind of leap to your feet, and Echo, you do the same. And Echo, you just sweep everything from on top of the table that was next to yours out, so it just scatters across the room. Guards and bill hooks and blue coats and passers-by are hit with a scatter of cards and dice and drinks and knives that were stabbed into the tabletop, and like there's a great kind of cry, and a huge melee just kind of starts breaking out. Bricks, that huge bill hook guy with the mutton chops is on you. You kind of duck to the side under his punch, but he gets you with another one into your stomach, unfortunately, and you give him a good solid roundhouse to the side of his head and leave him reeling and kind of like roaring in pain and swinging out wildly at you as his eyes are full of like beer and blood. And in the chaos, the two of you make your way out. I'm assuming, Silver, you are lurking somewhere outside going, what the?
I really like the idea that Silver has just like started walking home and then sees like Bricks and Echo like just sprinting along the street past us. Like,
absolutely. So Bricks, the Devil's Bargain harm, can you take bruised knuckles as your level 1? And unfortunately, for your 5 there roll, I'm going to give you an extra harm, which is, can you put your stomach wound back to a level 2, please?
Ooh, yes.
I opened up.
Some stitches got burst open right there.
Thanks.
I think that's our score. I would ask like Pierre, like all the different notes that were made, but I think we know what happened tonight and stuff. And I think the notes you had last time were very exhaustive. I guess I was expecting kind of this place, maybe doing that to this place, and they were so exhaustive that I think I'm happy to say you reported back to the rates pretty conclusively with those. So let's get our downtime sorted, folks. So the first thing that we're going to do is the payoff. So this wasn't a particularly big job. I think it was a small job. You were doing it for like people you're working with. But you know what? I think they're gonna give you probably not much for it at all, because I think they see part of like this leading towards bigger payment, right? So for 2 sessions, they're going to pay you 2 coin, but you get the extra coin from your winnings. So 3 coin in total, which kind of works, right? There are 3 of you. Is that how this is getting divvied up?
Yeah.
Although we owe 2 to the grinders.
Oh yeah, so you do.
Oh,
Fucking
We
hell.
get 1.
1 coin it is then.
right. I'll put that in the vault.
So you also have to earn some rep. The whole purpose of this is that you were under the radar, though, right? So, I don't know. Higher. I find this weird. The stuff with rep kind of weird. No, you know what? It was a successful score, and it had a target, and you addressed that target. So I think that is fine. Let me just find how much higher than you those targets are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if they're even if you don't actually end up engaging with them too much, it's like if this went terribly wrong, we would be pissing off someone who is X powerful.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So the hive. Oh, good lord! I haven't got it written down anywhere. I'm gonna have to.
Shall I search for it?
No, it's okay. No. Don't you go looking.
No.
The hive are tier 4. So that will be, I believe, 2 rep plus what? So that's 5 rep, I think, because you're tier 1, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
which means the fact that they've made us is probably.
That's 5 rep.
I don't think they made you.
It's pretty good.
I was just imagining like Echo just before, like a second before Brix was about to like lay waste to everything. Like we made eye contact, and I was just like, no, and you were like, yes, and I'm like, oh.
So I would say that's 2 heat, which I guess turns into 1 heat for your upgrade that reduces heat.
Yep.
So that's an extra heat for you. And then we have to roll entanglements. So your wanted level's 2, right?
Correct.
And what's your heat now?
5.
5. So
If that boy's been stabbing again.
Look, on the one hand, we resent Nicholas, but if anything happened to him, it would be disastrous.
sure.
He's like our puppy.
So let's get on to our downtime activities, friends. Who's going to go first? It's going to be Brix.
I'm going to go for stress relief.
Mm-hmm.
So that is.
Imagine if I just didn't go for stress relief during this whole start my next score on 9 stress.
So much stress.
6.
Nice.
Actually, 2 6s. Is there such a thing as a crit for stress relief?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just the highest you
Dang it.
you roll. Yeah, clear stress equal to the highest die result. No. Is that just your usual down at the Iron Hook, fighting pits, gambling, and yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Next up, we have Echo.
Yep, I have to stress relieve. That fight at the end exploded me.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go to Traven. Or actually, do I still have access to Traven?
Yeah, you have access to Traven, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Although, let me roll something here first. A second. Okay. That's contacts. Let me just have a look at something here. What are our group contacts altogether?
The group contacts or like individual ones?
No, the contacts that the group has.
We've got Decker, Red Silks, and Cersei.
Okay.
And those are the only ones we've got noted.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you go to Traven's. How do you do?
I'm rolling 1 dice. Oh wow, I rolled a 6. That was lucky.
That's good. That was a hell of a cultured, cultivated trip you had in the back of Traven's smoke shop. Silver, what are you doing first? Vice, I guess.
Yep, definitely Vice. Roll 1 dice. I got a 5. Nice.
Pretty good. Some Saturn. What did you purchase to give you such joy and relief?
Well, I guess I've seen some new, noble fashions. Maybe I've gone and tried to find something similar in Dungeons and Sons. I guess
Even bigger.
What can I buy that I haven't yet bought of clothing? Maybe like a scarf, a nice, good scarf.
Nice scarf. Lovely. Well then, who's up next? It's Echo again.
God, I was thinking I was going to have to do some more stress relief, but now I don't. I'm going to do some long-term project of trying to win back Dharma. Going to keep going at that one, which
absolutely. And how many ticks on that clock do we have, John?
Let me see.
I think I've been keeping track of it because I think
we've
went
got
up and then it went down.
Yeah,
it did. 1 out of 8.
Okay, what are you rolling for that?
Again, I'm gonna finesse or prowl, but they're both 3, so it's sort of the same.
Mm-hmm. What are you specifically doing though?
I am trying to earn coin to. Oh, actually, I don't know. Yeah, I was going to try and earn coin to like do some grand gesture, or like treat him to something. Or
sure, yeah.
Okay, I rolled. My highest was a 4.
Okay, so that's 2 segments ticked, and yeah, you find yourself with some coinage that doesn't actually translate to actual coin that you could use to purchase some gift or make some gesture at a later date. Bricks.
I am going to heal.
That seems like a good idea. I believe Red Silks is at a tier level of 2.
Correct.
At the moment.
So is that 2 dice?
It is indeed 2 dice.
And is it? It's not spend a coin to add a dice. It's spend a coin to add a segment to whatever.
To improve the result to the next tier, yeah.
Right. Rolled a 4.
That would be 2 segments on your healing tracker.
Okay, then I will spend a coin.
Okay, that is 3 segments on your healing tracker. Is that just at 3 segments now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because apart from anything, when you take harm, any healing that you had done up to that point is reset.
Yes, you're right. But you could have also had still healing because you had harm. If you see what I mean, you could have been on one healing on the tracker.
No, but that's what I mean. If your healing tracker is in progress,
I know, but you had harm, which means your healing tracker could have been still in progress, couldn't it? You could have started this score with with a harm and like a tick of your healing clock.
Yeah, but I think what John's trying to say is that it like as soon as he took another, he took a harm.
When you take harm, it resets. Does it?
Yeah, it's really brutal.
Yes. Oof, that is brutal. Silver, what's your final free action?
I haven't done. You can do a reduce heat. Is that a thing?
You can do reduce heat. Yeah, and it's an action roll of your choice.
I'm going to roll consort, and I'm going to go to some bars and just try to blame things we've done on the bill hooks or whoever else.
That seems
I love how this is
very
probably
valid.
the least violent ways in which we've spread that like you don't fuck with the keepers.
No, fuck with the keepers. They're weak. They haven't done anything. Fuck with them. Those bill hooks you want to watch out for. I heard they blew up a blue cloak enclave. How'd you do?
Exactly. Let's see. I got a 1 and a 2.
Good stuff. So that reduces heat by 1 unless you want to spend money to upgrade it.
Can I spend gang money to upgrade it?
Yeah.
Join me in the dark side of spending gang money.
I'm going to spend some gang money. This is a gang thing.
Sure. You spend a bit of coin around, and as a result, most of the inebriated dogs' bodies you ended up talking to at least told their friends. Two heat is reduced. But while you're doing this, you do hear of something quite worrying, Silver, and that is that apparently the Bluecoats have recently pulled Decker in. You don't know if it's directly related to things that you've been involved in, but maybe it's not worth taking a chance. You can either pay the Bluecoats off with 2 coin to secure Decker's release, or I just make a fortune roll that sees how much he talks.
I definitely discussed this with the gang. Well, Decker's been taken in. I don't particularly like Decker, so a large part of me wants to let him suffer, but it would be bad for us if he revealed some of our dealings.
Aye.
And maybe would get us on his side if we... I don't like him very much either.
Well, he also doesn't like us very much. Which
Yeah,
means
that's fair.
a bit more likely to say something we don't want him to.
Okay, let's try and deal with it.
All right.
So two keeper coins, trademark, going towards the release of Decker.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. Well, you don't know how much he talked, but you're not gaining any heat from it, so presumably you got there. You spent that coin. Maybe he wasn't going to anyway. Now we'll never know. So there we go. You have your crew, your cohort can take an action, free action, right?
Yep. So they can
with 1 die. So what we going to do for that?
They can acquire an asset, reduce heat, or work on a long-term project. Our heat is currently 3. Do we just want to do another reduce heat?
Yeah.
Okay, just roll that die for them.
Okay.
I believe.
1.
Okay, well that's still 1 heat is reduced, someone who occasionally turns up at your betting rounds at Iron Hook Prison, Bricks, who often eyes you and you've always thought is a bit shifty and untrustworthy. He ends up being found floating in the waters off the docks. Don't know what happened there.
Shame that.
See, sometimes Nicholas is useful. So, there we go. Does anyone want to spend rep or coin for extra actions? For extra downtime activities? Yes.
I was going
Healing?
to, spend a rep to do it.
Sure. What's your rep looking like at the moment?
We're on 5, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
We started.
Because you've just gone up. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
2. Ooh, I rolled a 6.
Well, a 6, I believe, is 3 segments. Yes, 3 segments.
That's an inconvenient amount.
Is it?
Yes. Because that would leave me at half past, which isn't enough to spend a coin to fully heal it.
Sure. But as long as you don't take harm next time, that healing, that still carries over.
Or I could spend a coin to visit her again.
Oh, I see what you mean, to take an extra downtime activity and yeah. So you spent a rep to go up there. Okay.
Yep.
So let's make this clear. This rep that you've spent has got rid of your level 1 harm and moved your level 2 to a level 1 again, yes?
Oh, does it affect both of them?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Doesn't it?
Yep. I think it ticks every harm chunks down.
Down 1, yeah.
Oh. In that case, I'm fine with leaving that where it is.
Okay. And you just have 1 level 1 harm again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is your stomach wound dropped again. Up and down, dropped again. Yeah, cool. And you're halfway to your next heal. Correct? Correct. Cool. There we go. There we go, folks. If you have any comments or questions, pop them in the chat and Steve will flag them up for us. In the meantime, promo stuff down below. There's a bunch of links. Twitch, YouTube. You're watching on one. Please check out the other. Our YouTube has just so many videos now. You can watch like big old campaigns and fun stuff. There's links to our social media. The links to our Discord where you can join up and chat to us about things, role play and otherwise. Links to our Patreon. We offer like character creation videos and GM notes and all sorts of cool stuff like that. Go see if you want to support us there. We regularly run 3 weekly campaigns. One of them is on hiatus at the moment. Usually we have Mondays, which is run by Johnny. Call of Cthulhu has just finished and all the VODs are available on YouTube. What he's going to be running is Shadows of Estrin, which kicks off in a couple of weeks. Tuesdays is currently Blades in the Dark, but tonight was the penultimate episode of Blades in the Dark for the moment. Next week we'll be wrapping up Blades in the Dark. Probably not permanently, but at least for a while. And Wednesdays is Simbaroom, which is just ongoing. That's kind of mostly always there. We'll also be starting a new series on Thursdays, which will be starting in a couple of weeks' time, which will be a World of Darkness thing. If you want to know anything more about Shadows of Estrin and World of Darkness and like things that the channel is doing moving forwards, join us on this Sunday evening where we're having a kind of hangouts, launch, casual stream thing, which will be me and Johnny with some of the players from Shadows of Estrin and World of Darkness. Come join us and just chat to us about those things and whatever. It'll just be a chill thing. We also have monthly one-shots on the first Saturday of every month, the most recent of which was Wander Home, which is a wonderful pastoral, fantasy, improvisational, joyous thing. The VODs for that are starting to go up on YouTube this week. And our next one is on Saturday, the 6th of November, which will be Dune Adventures in the Imperium, because we are not above coinciding our one-shots for maximum exploitation of movies coming out. Yes,
I really like Dune.
Also, we really like Dune. So that'll be fun. So do join us for that. We've had a couple of followers in the last couple of days, Blank Rubik's and AJ Mary Bard. Thank you very much. Have we got any comments or questions, Steve? Will we get closure on the Rovers saga next episode? I don't think there'll be full closure, but it will definitely be climactic. Let's put it that way. I definitely want to leave it open to coming back to Blades in the Dark because it's a lot of fun, and I think we're having a lot of fun with it. I think there's a lot of like open questions that couldn't get wrapped up in one score. And selfishly, it's really easy to run. It's really easy to run and prep for. So I don't doubt we'll be returning to the Keepers and like seeing what becomes of them in the future, but probably not for at least. Unless we do it in a one-off format or a recorded format, which is something we're experimenting with, probably not for at least 6 months or so, because World of Darkness is going to take. It's going to take a while. A lot of prep, a lot of work. Steve, the Devil's Bargains get more squeaky when the score lasts 2 sessions. Yeah, right. And the stress and stuff like that. I do not know why that score lasted 2 sessions. I should have written less locations.
I think it's just because like for each stop, you have to like all of the players have to make a plan about what to do.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I think you're right.
My fault. Too many characterful locations. I hope they were characterful anyway. We didn't have Justin here to go. Come on.
Exactly.
Justin will return next week, hopefully. So he'll be here for the climax. I don't think we've got anything else. That's it. Thank you so much, folks. Thanks to Steve for stream managing, as always. Thanks to the wonderful players and to you, the wonderful viewer, even if you're not wonderful. Maybe you're an awful human being. I don't know. How could I have any way of knowing that?
But thank you regardless.
But thank you regardless. And we'll see you next week for at least the temporary climax of Blades in the Dark. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.